Hello students, this is my second lecture on basic concept of chemistry. In this lecture I will discuss about the solution and mixture. So what is the basic difference in between mixture and solution? Solution is homogeneous mixture of two or more component. Homogeneous means at every point of the solution the amount of the solvent and the solute should be same. Suppose you have added sugar in water, so every drop of this solution will have the same taste, sweetness. So this is known as solution. But mixture may not be homogeneous. Solution is also mixture, but solution is a homogeneous mixture. But if simply a mixture is there, it may be homogeneous, it may not be homogeneous. Say water and sand. If you mix both together, after some time sand will settle down in the bottom. This will not be solution, this will be simply mixture, right? So when I am talking about solution, it is homogeneous mixture of two or more component. Mixture. In general, in solution there are two components, solute and solvent. Normally the species which is in lesser amount is known as solute, and which is in higher amount, that is known as solvent. In general, say for example you have taken sugar and water, sugar plus water, this is now solution. So in general what we do, sugar ka amount we usually take less and water amount is usually more. So this is solute and this one is solvent. Normally in lower classes it is told to you जो solid होता है that is solute and जो liquid होता है that is solvent. It is correct up to some extent, not necessary always. It is applicable only in those cases where one component is solid and other component is liquid, right? But if we have suppose CCl4 and we have benzene, both are organic product, carbon tetrachloride and benzene. So like dissolve like, CCl4 organic compound, benzene organic compound. So these will form homogeneous mixture, that is known as solution, right? Now how you can say this is liquid and this is also liquid? Now how you can say which one is solute and which one is solvent, right? Because abhi to solid nahi hai. So in that case we have to see the amount. If this is in lesser amount, then this will be solute, and if this is in lesser amount, then this will be solute, right? So first of all the concept is based on the amount of the component. Now there are some situation, suppose I have taken 100 ml of this and 100 ml of this. So in general which will be the liquid, which will be the solvent and which will be the solute? Now if the amount is same, then you can add benzene in CCl4 or CCl4 can be added in benzene. So in general either of these can be solute or solvent. So when the amount is same and the phase is same, phase means physical state, liquid, देन किसी को भी हम सॉल्यूट ले सकते हैं और किसी को भी सॉल्वेंट ले सकते हैं, राइट? Now the third case, if we have larger amount of solid, say I have taken 1 kg sugar and I have taken 1 kg water. I have added 1 kg sugar in 1 kg water. Then which one is solid and which one is solvent? In those cases, we have to see the final state of the solution, whether this is liquid और सॉलिड. अगर ये फाइनल स्टेट सॉलिड है तो सॉल्वेंट शुगर होगा, और अगर फाइनल स्टेट लिक्विड है तो सॉल्वेंट लिक्विड होगा. सो वेन एवर यू हैव कंफ्यूजन विच वन इज सॉल्यूट एंड विच वन इज सॉल्वेंट, देन यू हैव टू सी द फाइनल स्टेट ऑफ द सोल्यूशन. जो फाइनल स्टेट है सोल्यूशन का वही सॉल्वेंट वाला फेज होगा. नेक्स्ट, मूव टू द नेक्स्ट. concentration. Concentration of solute is the amount of solute dissolved in solvent or solution. That means how much amount of solute is present in how much amount of solvent or solution. Now concentration can be defined in different ways. First way, percent by concentration, means whenever concentration is defined in terms of percentage with respect to solution. Now this percentage concentration can be defined in three ways. First, percent concentration by mass, that is also known as weight by weight or mass by mass. What does it mean? It means solute will be taken in gram as well as solution will be taken in gram or kilogram. दोनों को हम का मास में बताना है, right? See, if I am saying 10% H2SO4 solution by mass, what does it mean? It means 10 gram H2SO4 present in 100 gram solution, not solvent. Similarly, if I am saying X% HCl by mass, what does it mean? It means X gram HCl in 100 gram solution. If you want to calculate in terms of kg, you can also say X kg HCl in 100 kg of solution, same thing, right? Now come to the next, percent concentration by volume. By volume means always volume by volume. Solute is measured in volume, solute, and solution is also measured in volume, taken in volume. So if I am saying 10% H2SO4 solution by volume, what does it mean? It means 10 ml H2SO4 is present in 100 ml solution. Similarly, if I am saying X% sodium chloride solution by volume, it means HCl, liquid. We have to take liquid because volume by volume. So X ml HCl will be present in 100 ml solution. यहाँ पर हमको दोनों वॉल्यूम में लेना पड़ेगा, इसलिए हमने NaCl नहीं लिया, HCl लिया. Now come to percent by strength. Percent by strength. This is known as weight by volume, means mass by volume. Solute will be taken in terms of mass and solution will be taken in terms of volume. X% H2SO4 by strength, it means x gram H2SO4 in 100 ml solution, not solvent, please keep this in mind. X% HCl by strength, it means x gram HCl in 100 ml solution. Now, what is percent by strength and what is strength? Strength is nothing but amount of solute in 1 liter solution. This is 1 liter, gram per liter. This is gram per 100 ml. This is the difference. So, percent concentration by strength, that is gram per 100 ml, and strength, say I am saying 75 gram per liter, that is the strength. It means 75 gram of that solute is present in 1 liter solution. This is a strength, and this can be converted into percent concentration by strength. So, this will be 7.5 gram solute, this is solute in 100 ml solution, right. Next, molarity. Next method is molarity. Molarity is represented by capital M, and it is the number of moles of solute which are present per liter of solution. Number of moles of solute present per liter of solution. So, M will be equal to number of moles of solution divided by number of liters of solution. V is the number of liters of solution, right. So, how to find out the number of moles? You know, if the given mass is there, weight of solute divided by molecular mass of the solute divided by V ml. If this is an ml, we have to convert this into number of liters. So, this will come out M is equal to weight divided by molecular mass of solute into 1000 divided by V in ml. So, this will be the formula to find out the molarity. From here we can find out one thing. Suppose I am saying number of moles. So, number of moles is what? N divided by molecular mass, right. Say you have 1 liter milk. So, if I am saying 1 liter milk is equal to how many milliliters of milk, ml. So, what you will do? You will multiply this by 1000. So, 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter. Similarly, if the given number of moles is multiplied by 1000, then those will convert into millimoles, right. So, this is number of moles, fine. If I multiplied this by 1000, so this will be millimoles, right. And weight given divided by molecular mass. So, this is the number of moles into 1000, that will be millimoles, fine. Now if we look at this formula and we compare this, right? So weight given divided by molecular mass is the number of moles, right, into 1000. now इसको इधर लेके जाओ तो weight divided by molecular mass into 1000 will be equal to m into v in ml. So this is equal to now millimoles, right? Similarly अगर आपको नंबर ऑफ मोल्स में कन्वर्ट करना है तो उसको 1000 से डिवाइड करेंगे, तो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स विल बी इक्वल टू मोलैरिटी इनटू वॉल्यूम इन लीटर, क्योंकि आप इसको 1000 से डिवाइड करेंगे, इधर भी 1000 से डिवाइड करेंगे, दिस डिवाइड बाय 1000, दिस डिवाइड बाय 1000, तो 1000 से 1000 कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा, इधर 1000 से ये ml लीटर में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. सो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स विल बी दिस. So we have one more new formula to find out the number of moles. अभी तक number of moles कैसे निकालते थे आप? Given mass divided by molecular mass, right? Now we have another formula to find out the number of moles in a solution, molarity into volume in liter. Now the next one, molality. Molality is represented by small m, and it is nothing but the number of moles of solute present per kg of solvent. यहां पर दो चेंजेस हैं. पहला तो सॉल्यूशन नहीं है, सॉल्वेंट है, पर केजी ऑफ सॉल्वेंट. तो फर्स्ट करेक्शन, यहां पर सॉल्यूशन नहीं है, सॉल्वेंट है. एंड सेकेंड करेक्शन, यहां पर वॉल्यूम नहीं है, लीटर नहीं है, मास. ठीक. सो नाउ नंबर ऑफ मोल्स डिवाइड बाय मॉलिक्यूलर मास, तो मोलैलिटी विल बी इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ मोल्स डिवाइड बाय नंबर ऑफ केजीज ऑफ सॉल्वेंट. तो दैट कैपिटल W, नंबर ऑफ केजीज ऑफ सॉल्वेंट, कैपिटल W इज द नंबर ऑफ केजी ऑफ सॉल्वेंट. सो n क्या है? नंबर ऑफ मोल्स. कैसे निकालेंगे? W स्मॉल, दैट इज फॉर सॉल्यूट, डिवाइड बाय मॉलिक्यूलर मास ऑफ सॉल्यूट डिवाइड बाय कैपिटल W इन ग्राम. इसको केजी में कन्वर्ट करना है तो 1000 से डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा. सो नाउ दिस विल कम आउट weight of solute divided by molecular mass into 1000 divided by capital W. So this is the formula for the molality. Now the important thing over here, this molality is temperature independent. Temperature independent. Why? Because it don't have any volume part. As we know, temperature पर volume depend करता है, but mass will not depend upon the temperature. Next I am coming to mole fraction. Mole fraction is the fraction of number of moles of the solution. It can be defined in two ways, in terms of solute and in terms of solvent. So mole fraction of one component is nothing but the ratio of number of moles of that component with respect to the total number of moles of the solution. Say number of moles of solute is A and number of moles of solvent is B. So the total number of moles is Na plus Nb. So the mole fraction of A, that is solute, will be equal to number of moles of solute divided by total number of moles of solution. Similarly, number of moles of solvent will be equal to, mole fraction of solvent will be equal to number of moles of solvent divided by total number of moles of solution. If we add these two, XA plus XB, then it will be always 1. So the summation of all the mole fraction present in the solution will be always equal to 1. Say one solution is having say 4 component, right, having number of moles n1, n2, n3, n4 dash dash dash, and hence different mole fraction x1, x2, x3, x4. So in that case we can say x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4, that will be equal to 1, right. This is also again temperature independent because this do not have volume part. So the molality, mole fraction and percent concentration by mass is temperature independent. Why? The answer is same, because these do not have any volume part, only mass, and mass is temperature independent. Now come to normality. Normality is nothing but the number of equivalent or gram equivalent, same thing, number of equivalent of solute present per liter of solution, per liter of solution, number of gram equivalent of solute. I will tell you what is the meaning of gram equivalent or number of equivalent. I will tell. Say number of moles or number of gram moles, both are same. First of all, what is the formula? Normality n will be equal to number of gram equivalent divided by number of liters of solution. Number of gram equivalent, say n number of gram equivalent, Ne, divided by volume V liter. Now how to calculate this number of gram equivalent? Say how to calculate the number of moles? Weight given divided by molecular mass is the number of moles. So over here, to find out the number of equivalent, given mass of solute divided by equivalent weight. Now what is equivalent weight? In the lower classes you have gone through the term valency factor, right? Valency factor means, I am telling, in different way it can be defined. Valency factor, equivalent weight is equal to given mass. That was the number of equivalent. Number of equivalent is the mass given divided by equivalent weight. Now how to find out this equivalent weight? This equivalent weight will be equal to molecular mass divided by valency factor. Now we must know first what is valency factor. Valency factor in case of acid is nothing but replaceable H plus ions. In terms of base, replaceable OH minus ion. Say HCl, the N factor of valency factor is 1. Say H2SO4, when complete neutralization is there, valency factor is 2. Say HNO3, valency factor is 1. Say HBr, valency factor is 1. Say H3PO4 on complete neutralization, valency factor is 3. Say H3PO3, valency factor is 2. How it is, we will discuss in detail later on in stoichiometry. Now in this case, NaOH, replaceable OH minus ion 1, so the valence factor is 1. In magnesium hydroxide, assuming complete neutralization, valency factor 2. Calcium hydroxide, valency factor 2. In terms of salt, valency factor metal salt. Valency factor is nothing but the charge on metal. Charge on metal. In general, that is in general, not always. So I am saying calcium sulfate. So the valency factor is 2. Say I am saying sodium sulfate. This is total charge on the metal, not charge, total charge on metal. Or better to say total positive charge or total negative charge. Either of these, right? Because simply if I am talking about charge on sodium, that will be 1, so it will be wrong. So the charge on metal, that is total charge or total positive charge or total negative charge, either of these. So in this case, total positive charge is 2. Valency factor is not plus or minus, it is just magnitude. Next, so let's continue. The formula: normality is equal to weight of the solute divided by equivalent weight, that is equivalent weight into 1000 divided by V, and V in ml. That we will discuss in detail later on in stoichiometry. Now come to gas laws. A gas is considered ideal gas if it obeys gas laws and the gas equation PV is equal to nRT. So what are the gas laws? First is Boyle's law. Now listen carefully. The most important thing I am going to tell over here. First of all, in Boyle's law, one thing is constant. What is constant? Temperature. At constant temperature, the pressure of fixed mass of dry gas is inversely proportional to its volume. Most important thing is fixed mass, and second is dry gas. If you are not mentioning these two, then answer will be wrong. You cannot say directly pressure is inversely proportional to volume. No. At constant temperature, the pressure of fixed mass of dry gas is inversely proportional to its volume, right? Then you can say P is equal to K by V, where K is the constant, or you can say PV is equal to constant, or you can say P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So these are the different forms: 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now come to the graphical representation. Suppose I am taking this P versus V at constant temperature. When temperature is constant, this is known as isotherm. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Isotherm. तो प्रेशर वर्सेस वॉल्यूम ग्राफ फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर गैस कैसा होगा? इट विल बी लाइक दिस. This will not touch. Hypothetically we can touch. Why hypothetically? Because the pressure of gas cannot be 0, right? Agree? So only इन वर्स्ट सिचुएशन मीन्स हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन, ये अगर कोई गैस है तो उसका कुछ वॉल्यूम होगा ही, इसीलिए वो हम इसको टच नहीं करेंगे, हम सोचेंगे, हम उसको हाइपोथेटिकली एक्सटेंड करेंगे तो वो मिल पाएगा. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ ग्राफ विल बी देयर. बट इफ द ग्राफ इज लाइक दिस, P वर्सेस 1/V, तब ग्राफ कैसा होगा? द ग्राफ विल बी लाइक दिस. ये टच नहीं करेगा. वाई? अगेन प्रेशर कैन नॉट बी जीरो. देन इफ द ग्राफ इज लाइक दिस, PV वर्सेस V, the graph will be like this only. Why? Because PV is always constant. If V is going to increase, then P will decrease. So this is the graphical representation of Boyle's law. Next, come to Charles' law. Now we have to क्या कांस्टेंट रखना है? कांस्टेंट बोलो, चार्ल्स लॉ क्या है? कांस्टेंट प्रेशर. At constant pressure, the volume of fixed mass of dry gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. Say V is directly proportional to T in Kelvin. Absolute temperature means in Kelvin. Or V is equal to KT, where T is the K is the constant. Now we can say V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. We can take the graph. V versus T in Kelvin. The graph will be like this. Why? Because volume cannot be zero in terms of gas. There is a hypothetical situation. If I am taking this graph, volume versus temperature in degree Celsius, then what will be the graph? Then graph will be like this. Why? Because at 0 degree Celsius the gas will be having some volume, this one. अगर हम इसको एक्स्ट्रापोलेट करेंगे, ये पीछे जाएगा, तब यहां पर देख सकते हैं द ग्राफ विल बी लाइक दिस, क्योंकि 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस पर गैस का कुछ वॉल्यूम होगा. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, एंड दैट विल बी -27 डिग्री सेल्सियस, 273 डिग्री सेल्सियस. नेक्स्ट वी आर कमिंग टू Gay-Lussac law, that is also known as pressure temperature law. So volume constant. At constant volume, the pressure of fixed mass of dry gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. P directly proportional to T in Kelvin, or P is equal to KT, T in Kelvin. So P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. Now graph P versus T in Kelvin, same, directly proportional. Pressure cannot be zero in case of gas, so dot dot, जीरो ओरिजिन से स्टार्ट नहीं होगा. लेकिन अगर हम, क्योंकि ये 0 केल्विन, अगर हम स्टार्ट करते हैं प्रेशर or temperature in degree Celsius, then the graph will be like this, क्योंकि 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस पर गैस का कुछ वॉल्यूम होगा, राइट, तब ग्राफ ऐसा होगा. सो यू मस्ट डिफ्रेंशिएट बिटवीन केल्विन एंड डिग्री सेल्सियस. नाउ द कंबाइंड लॉ, अभी कुछ भी हमको फिक्स नहीं है, ना प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है, ना टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट है, ना वॉल्यूम कांस्टेंट है. देन वी कैन से P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. दिस इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, यहाँ से बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होंगे. अब यहाँ से आप ये ग्राफ जो लॉज है वो भी लेके आ सकते हैं. से आपको बॉयल्स लॉ लेके आना है. बॉयल्स लॉ में क्या कांस्टेंट रहता है? टेम्परेचर. देन मेक इट कांस्टेंट. देन P1 V1 इज इक्वल टू P2 V2, बॉयल्स लॉ. चार्ल्स लॉ में क्या कांस्टेंट रहता है? प्रेशर. इसको कांस्टेंट कर दो. देन V1 by T1 इज इक्वल टू V2 by T2. देन गैलिसॉक लॉ में क्या कांस्टेंट रहता है? वॉल्यूम. देन P1 by T1 इज इक्वल टू P2 by T2. ये हो गया. नाउ वी आर कमिंग टू द अवोगाड्रोस लॉ. अवोगाड्रोस लॉ में क्या कांस्टेंट रहता है? अवोगाड्रोस लॉ में कांस्टेंट रहता है आपका, बोलो, वॉल्यूम. सॉरी, अवोगाड्रोस लॉ क्या है? एट ए गिवन कंडीशन ऑफ फिक्स्ड टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर, राइट, टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट है एंड प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है. सो द सेम वॉल्यूम ऑफ डिफरेंट गैसेस will occupy equal number of moles. Same volume of different gases. से एक का वॉल्यूम 1 V1, दूसरे का वॉल्यूम भी V1. तो अगर इसका नंबर ऑफ मोल्स N1 है तो इसका नंबर ऑफ मोल्स भी N1 होगा. सो इन एवोगाड्रो केस, एवोगाड्रो लॉ, द सेम वॉल्यूम ऑफ डिफरेंट गैसेस विल ऑक्युपाई द इक्वल नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ गैस, राइट. वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा होगा तो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ज़्यादा होंगे, वॉल्यूम कम होगा तो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स कम होंगे. तो V डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू N. V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2. Now the gas equation, it is PV is equal to nRT. P is the pressure, V is the volume, N number of moles are universal gas constant, and T is the temperature. R value will depend upon units of P, V and T. Normally it is 0.0821 liter atmosphere per mole per Kelvin, or 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin, or approximately 2 calorie per mole per Kelvin. So in different units R is having different values, that is fixed. Okay, so for today इतना ही रखते हैं. इसको अच्छे से रिवाइज कीजिएगा, फिर हम इसके बेसिस पर प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करेंगे. थैंक यू.